so people know that we're in here. Oh, this is so dumb, man. It's so aggravating to me because, like, this is not difficult. I don't understand how the platform can't figure out, like, who the hell is doing vertical lives like, I don't get it. Anyways, we're gonna give it here a minute. Let's delete this. Boop. And let's go back home, and I'll share. What happened was the stream was trying to do vertical, and I hate that. I hate it. I absolutely hate vertical live streams. It's just so bad. Anyways, if you're just coming on this video and you're seeing this on the replay crew, we're gonna actually start this about 3 minutes in, so you can skip ahead to about 3 minutes if you don't want to hear the boring BS here at the beginning. We're waiting for everybody to get in, and I'm going to share this out as a community post as well. According to this, it says we're live, right? Yep. Share. Create post. We're in the building. Post. Now there's a new community post. They should have that. We should be good. Uh-oh. Why is my thing doing this? And I'm going to open up my my chat. Why is this not working? Yay, technology. This is so exciting. What's up, TK? Thank you for the updates. Yes, sir. If you're a worker at Stellantis, you should feel a lot better about the security of your job right now. We're going to talk a little bit about that too. So stay tuned. Let me see if I can get here and get to our live stream so I can see the chat. There it is. Let me just turn this volume down so we don't have to hear ourselves. It'd be easier for me to see it here than having to watch it pop up. That way I can address you guys. Cool. All right, so we got about 30 seconds before we hit the 3-minute mark. I'm gonna go refill this coffee, and then we will get into the videos today, the information. Let's get it. Let's get it. Let's get it. Ugh. We're in the building. Let me not kick the camera. Ugh. Been a while since we did a live, huh, guys? Talking about what's going on. Well, let's go ahead and get into it. Let me see if we got any questions or other stuff that's in here now. Golden K9 Camper says, I'm new. All right, so Mopar Jesus is back. Let's go. You are correct. I'm going to pin that one. Boop. So I published a video 2 days ago. I think it was 2 days ago, where we we talked about Tim Kuniskis having that second call with John Elkin. And evidently, when he had that phone call, he accepted the position. Now, it was funny because my sources over at Stellantis were like, hey, your buddy, the other TK, literally just had another phone call with John Elkin, and it sounds very positive. I think he's coming back. And I'm like, okay, cool. Well, two of my other sources, I see Dizzle Emotion is in the building today. Y'all make sure y'all go do me a favor and go subscribe to Dizzle Emotion's channel. While you're here, you can just click on it and just hit subscribe. TK, you and the channel rock. You report facts only, no BS. Yeah, I mean, look, here's the thing. When I get the information like I've been getting, I don't just, as soon as I get it, I don't run and just make a video real quick. Because normally when I get it, I'm not the only one that's getting it. Like, I'm sure that they also give this information to Wall Street Journal, Bloomberg, you know, probably Mopar insiders. I'm sure I'm not the only one that gets this information. It just takes me time. It takes me less time to put up a video than it takes them to go through an editor to publish an article or do whatever, because I'm the editor. I verify my information. I go through all of my sources to see if they're hearing the same thing, and then I drop a video. It takes me 30 minutes from verifying information, shooting, editing, uploading to get the information out. So I'm able to get it out in a much faster rate than probably anybody else that does this. But that's why I'm always out. That's why I'm usually first. But anyways, so after that phone call, I started talking to some of the sources and stuff, and I literally have like I don't even want to say the app that I use, but I have a chat group with these guys, and we just shoot the shit and have a conversation. And they said, that they're seriously now considering in Q1, if Europe doesn't, if the EU doesn't pull back emissions like we're about to do here in the United States, we're about to pull back emissions in a ridiculous way. It's gonna happen, right? If the EU doesn't follow the same route that we're going, then Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram will have to be split off to be its own company, and none of those products are going to sell in Europe. And that includes Jeep, that includes Ram, Dodge, Chrysler. One of the things that I'm extremely excited for, though, is we can say bye-bye to that food stamp RHO. That RHO is a frigging disaster. I've already seen them, that they're already on lots. You can go check them out. And it's literally a bootleg TRX. Yeah, we're already talking about it. I'm already talking about it, and he's in the chat. What do you think about Mopar Jesus' return to the RHO Ram? The RHO Ram is already hitting dealership lots, but shocker, people aren't really excited about it. It's not a TRX. And for what people don't understand in the first case is Tim Kuniskis would have never retired had Carlos Tavares just used common sense. All he had to use was common sense, just a little common sense, and have one or two other V8 options. He already did it. You know, the Durango was dead, right? The only reason why they brought the Hellcat Durango back for 2025 is because Tavares did it as kind of like an FU to some of the other executives to be like, all right, we'll renew it for a year, and I bet you it doesn't sell. Basically along those lines. But it did sell. Now, to be honest, everybody is not trying to buy 100,000 plus Hellcat vehicles. That's a fact. Everybody is not trying to buy those. I'm sorry. It's not a thing. Yeah, nobody wants an inline six unless it's a Cummins. Facts. Yana, it's going to be very interesting to see what happens with that thing. I can't really say what that thing is because I am under an NDA there. But I think they're going to be okay. That's the best thing I can tell you. Because it wasn't just Tim Kuniskis. There's other people that are involved there that are storied, would be the best way to say it. So I'm not too concerned about that. And you can see that with some of the changes that are going on at General Motors right now, too. So we'll see. We'll see. But we're still 18 to 24 months away from that happening anyway. So basically, yeah. Look, hold on. Dizzle is 100% correct. I mean, one of the biggest things I can tell you is if you are a UAW right now, out to your leadership and asking them to remove Sean Fain. Sean Fain has got to be the biggest dumbass at the UAW. You know, he always wants to tout we signed the biggest contract in history. Nobody cares. It's not about the biggest contract, right? Because the contract doesn't matter if nobody has friggin' jobs. But I can tell you this, the president-elect isn't even in office yet. And just him talking about tariffing the crap out of Mexico, bringing those Ram 2500s and 3500s in. You know why the chairman, John Elkin, was in Detroit this last week, or what was week and a half ago, whatever it was, why he was here? He was here in the U.S. talking to people at the company, telling them to get Warren situated and tooled up to be able to start making 2,500 Rams immediately, because they're not going to pay that 25% tariff coming into Mexico. Why would they pay more money for them to build a shit product south of the border? They're not going to do it when they can build it here, bring back those jobs that are on indefinite layoff at Warren. But yeah, I think the last domino to fall here now, at least in terms of the company, workers, and what's going on, is Sean Fain has to go. Sean Fain needs to be kicked out. Go back to making cars, bro. Go back to being just a member. You can't be president anymore. You bet on the wrong horse. It's literally like Sean Fain is literally the guy for the losing team at the Super Bowl, and then continues to talk about how great the losers at the Super Bowl were. Like, your team lost, bro. Lost bad. And all the stuff you said was going to happen when the other team won is going the opposite way. Jobs are coming back massively to the United States because they have no choice. They can't make them down there for more money. They're going to make them here. They save on transport. They save on, they save on the shipping, the transport, building them right here. It's less to transport them to dealers coming back and forth from when it's time for them to be built. So the transport savings alone, also not paying the 25% tariff for them to bring those trucks back in is huge for the company. But yeah, I'm excited because that's one of the things I see happening here fairly quickly. Somebody said, why is video so shitty? I'm a guess that it's probably your phone, or that, I mean, if you're using Metro PCS or Bruce Mobile or one of those other poor carriers, sometimes the video quality is not great on your phone. So, yeah, I mean, it happens. Sucks. But I'm going to try. Yeah, it's 1080p. It's fine. I already know. I ain't dumb. I know what it is. So we're just going to do this. Boop. Hiya! I got to hit him with that 300. This is Sparta. Yo. It's happening on my desktop also. Oh no, I see it. Kind of pixelating here or there. Yeah. Ugh. It's good now. Do I think the Chrysler 300 is coming back? Yes, I do. I do think that the Chrysler 300 could come back. It depends on a couple of different things, though. All right. It depends on if the Chrysler there's a saying, closed mouths don't get fed, right? And if you have a closed mouth and you don't speak up, you're not going to get anything. And John Elkin has literally been talking for the last week to all the executives at all of the brands, asking them what they need. How can we turn this around? You want to know who the most quiet is of all the the CEOs? Chrysler. And I'm not just picking on her. I already know that people are going to be like, oh, TK, you're just picking on her. I'm not just picking on her. But it's when the chairman of the board, who's basically your acting CEO right now, is asking you, what do you need right now to try to turn this thing around? And all you have is a freaking minivan. Come on, bro. Unfortunately for me, I feel like she should probably resign, go to work somewhere else. How soon do I think Warren would start building the 2500s? I think Warren Assembly could start building 2500 trucks before the end of the first quarter of 2025. Because tariff on executive order day one. Chrysler thing. So there's already leaks and other information that I'm getting about Chrysler, where they've offered gas power plants to Chrysler to try to turn this thing around, right? And again, silence from the CEO. So, and that's it right there. We talked, Lucky's in the chat. He said it right there. Yeah, the Aspen was that option. They were going to take the existing Durango, make some changes, and drop it as a Chrysler Aspen. Now, personally, I think they should do it. Someone said, I heard they're too tall for the line. It depends on the type of truck. There are some 2500s that have the exact same height as the 1500s, like the Rebels, and some of the other different things. Someone said your face is backwards. Huh. Probably because it's a mirrored camera. Chrysler could design a sport. What's going to happen is you're going to see Chrysler get a derivative of the 4-door Charger. They're probably going to call it a Chrysler 200. And most likely when that happens, they'll probably drop it with like the inline 6, or depending on the V8 at this time. The thing with Chrysler is they should do what they were going to do before they merged with Stellantis, and make it an actual luxury brand. You want to make Chrysler the brand that you can export. You want the Chrysler 300 to show up in the UK. You want the Chrysler 300 to show up in Germany. You want to make it a high quality luxury product. If you want to Dodge, like, now here's the thing, I'm not saying don't make a Chrysler with a Hellcat engine. I'm all about that. Drop a Hellcat engine in a Chrysler 300, awesome. But they should bring back some of the things like the Concorde, the New Yorker, and have those luxury sedans. And I know some of the thinking is not cars, but mostly SUVs and trucks. Yeah. The Daywalker said, what do you think about Ralph Giles as CEO? Funny you should mention that. I literally just dropped a video on this yesterday. Was it yesterday? Jacob, you're right. Bring back the wagons. More on that in a second. But yeah, they're already talking with Ralph Giles, but they're also talking with Antonio Filosa, right? Here's what I think happens. Tim Kuniskis comes back today as Ram CEO. So the information that we were getting 3 days ago, 4 days ago, and then the phone call 2 days ago was obviously correct. What I think happens is Q4 is going to close out. Stellantis is going to have horrible numbers. They suck balls now. It's horrible. Their profits are going to suck because they're going to have to cut so much off the price of these vehicles to be able to get rid of all of this inventory. They don't have a choice. They got to do it, right? They got to dump it. So once that happens, once they dump all of this inventory, come Q1, if, and this is a big if the EU does not say they're going to roll back the emissions in the EU, I think you see Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram get split, very similar to what happened with Ferrari and Fiat, where they split Ferrari off as its own company. If you look at the board of directors between Stellantis and Ferrari, looks exactly the same, right? I think we're going to see that. I think we're going to see Stellantis split Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram off, and they only sell vehicles, you know, in this hemisphere or in places where emissions are not a thing. Can Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram survive without selling vehicles in Europe? Yep, sure could. Sell trucks with V8s that customers want, bring back the Hellcat, make a couple of decent SUVs like the Chrysler Aspen with a Hellcat option, keep making the Durango, redesign it a little bit. You got to retool that thing. Bring back the TRX, bring back a regular base V8 tradesman, and that's it. Like, I think Ram is killing it at that point. You bring back the Hellcat to Dodge, maybe bring back a... That's the thing. A lot of people are saying, how many V8s are they going to bring back? I don't think it's going to be like it was before, where we had a Scat Pack at a 6.4, a Hellcat 6.2, and a regular 5.7. I don't think we're gonna get there. I think we're probably gonna get that dual overhead cam V8 that's been in development for a couple of years, and I think we're gonna get the Hellcat engine back in vehicles. So all you guys that bought those last calls probably feel like you got scammed. I probably think you'll get scammed. Someone said, what will happen with Pontiac? I don't know. Again, there's not a lot I can say about that. I can tell you this: if Pontiac is coming back, they're going to be fine. They have a lot of great people in place. If that was going to happen, you know, they're not going to do that half-assed. By the way. Yeah, we already know that. You have to lower prices. That's not even a question. I think that's one of the first things that Kuniskis does. You got to look. People want a truck to be able to work. All right. You can't sell trucks that are $110,000 and not have an option of an entry-level truck like a tradesman or something at like $28,000, right? You gotta be able to have those. Big Will said, did Elkin tell Warren to retool for HD? That was the conversation while he was in town. That was the conversation while he was in town, was to figure out where they're going to make these HD trucks. And they have to figure it out now. They don't have a lot of time to get this together. They're probably going to pay tariffs through most of the first quarter, importing those trucks from Mexico. But that's why, like I said, they're gonna retool in places that can actually put these together fairly quickly. And that's why I think it's going to be Warren. I've heard, I have a lot of sources that are saying that they're gonna put, you know, one of these trucks at Sterling Heights. I just don't know how that works at Sterling Heights, how they're going to be able to tool Sterling Heights assembly up to be able to do that. So we'll see. Lucky asked a good question. What do I think Tim is cooking up right now? Well, I used to make a joke about the people at Dodge or at Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram were literally all in a strip club, sitting in the VIP, and they were like, what do we do? How can we get insane sales? And there's party favors spread out. And literally all the CEOs were like, let's put a Hellcat in a minivan. Let's put a Hellcat in this. Let's put a Hellcat. And that's literally what I think was going on back in the day, where they were like, let's Hellcat everything. The Durango, the freaking... Was there actual conversations about Hellcatting Pacifica? Yeah. Yeah, there was. Back to the station wagons or the wagons. I think they will drop some sort of Magnum at some point. I think that that's a thing. It's not hard for them to tool that up with the the Charger 4-door and 2-door now for them to convert one of those into a wagon. So we'll see what happens with that. A 1500 HD, maybe. I mean, the 1500 is already so diluted at Ram. It's crazy. You got the Tradesman, the Bighorn, the Laramie. You got so many different. You got the Rebel. You got the TRX. I mean, there's so many different trims, or was so many different trims of the 1500. I mean, I don't know. I think the TRX is going to make a return. I just don't know if they're going to call it the TRX. I think the RHO is just a friggin' disaster. Disaster. In fact, so they're already at dealership lots. There's one right here by me at Prestige, and it's already in the shop. They're hoping it didn't blow the head gasket. It already overheated. The Hurricane engine is such an effing disaster because of the thermostat and all of the plastics and the cheap parts that Carlos Tavares instituted with all of the cost cutting. The thing I think is the funniest, though, the biggest cost cut of all for Carlos Tavares was himself. He cut himself. Now that's somebody that believes in what they stand on right there. He cut his own salary. I do have some information on that. A lot of people have been worried. They're saying, hey, isn't he just going to sit on the board of directors now? Evidently, the argument or fight that he had with some of the members of the board of directors was evidently so bad. Like, they weren't like getting into snaps like, your mama's so fat. They weren't doing that. But they did get into such a what did it say? Someone said I ain't got nothing inside that cup. There's coffee in here. What are you talking about? Look, you can see it right there. It's just got a little Hennessy in it. So I gotta sip it slowly, man. I'm not trying to, make ignorant decisions on the stream. Taking, little sips. If it was regular coffee, it'd be gone. Anyways, evidently the argument was so bad with Tavares and the other people that he was arguing with on the board that he may not sit on the board, and his golden parachute is not going to be as good as what was previously reported. So, Dave Jones put the new 6.4 in with a 10-speed. We'll see. Let me see if you guys have any other questions in here. The only reason I traded my 3500 in on a TRX is I wanted a V8 before I wasn't able to have one. You know what? This is the problem with the Stellantis or Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram. I know there's going to be people that are going to come out and they're going to try to sue the company because they bought these last calls. They bought these Demon 170s. They bought these last edition Jeeps with the Scat Pack engines. They bought these last edition Hellcat Durangos. You know what I'm saying? And they're going to be in their feelings because all of this stuff is going to drop. And they're going to say, hey, you said this was a last call, that the Hellcat was not coming back. All this, and it's in it, and I get it, I can understand, but I also have to say this to people that bought those as investments. And you can take it however you want. You're retarded. If you bought any of those vehicles as investments, you're retarded. You are certifiably a dumbass if you thought that these were going to be investments. Are they going to be worth money 20, 30 years from now? Sure. But so is any car. You could literally go buy a base model C8 Corvette, put it in bubble wrap, throw that friggin' thing in a storage unit, and 25 or 30 years from now, you'll probably be able to get double what you paid for the car. But I could take that same money that I would have bought that car with and just put it in the S&P 500 and quadruple, or 5 times, 10 times my money in the same time. So people that buy these Demon 170s, last call Hellcats, last call Swinger editions, and you don't enjoy them, you don't go out and drive them, you're not a real Mopar fan. You're a dumbass. Because anybody that thinks that an American car that's mass produced like that is an investment is a dumbass. Plain and simple. But yeah, Butter the Insider's in the building. He said, facts. I mean, look, Butter's a prime example. He's got a Demon 170. He drives that friggin' thing everywhere. He's driving that thing everywhere. I mean, look, I'm not, and I know people are going to say, oh, you're just picking on people. You're just picking on, no, I'm not picking on them. I'm just being honest. Shit is not an investment. Sorry. But he said 3,200 miles, baby. I was the same way. I mean, literally in the first year, I had my, we got car questions answered here. Never understood buying it. Cars want to be driven. Facts. I never understood that shit. I'm not doing that ever. Even with like the Lambo and shit, people would be like, I can't believe you're putting all the miles on that Gallardo. And I was like, what the F am I supposed to do with this car? It's a car. I'm going to drive the shit out of it. Like, what do you mean? I'm going to drive the dog shit out of this car. I don't care. And I'm the same way, unless it's a lease, like my M2, you guys seen it out last night. Unless it's a lease, which that's going back next month. If I'm limited to 10,000 miles, then yeah, I'm not driving the crap out of that car. But if it's a car that I own, I'm driving that shit. Period. End of story. Period. End of story. But yeah, I'm excited about the news. Like I said, I told you guys, I go look in the comments. I bet you half of these bums have already deleted their comments. When I told you guys this a couple days ago, people were literally like, Tim Kuniskis is not coming back. Never coming back to the company. This guy doesn't know what he's talking about. I don't know. I kind of feel like my track record speaks for itself at this point. You drive the balls off of your 68 Barracuda. I love it. Speaking of the CUDA, I've had a lot of people asking about that because do you remember, and why Butter the Insider is in here, why Butter the Insider is in here, do you remember before Tim Kuniskis retired? Oh, Black Mamba Motorsports, what's up? What's up, Dwan? Do you remember Tim teasing a vehicle with the car cover on it? And just lifting up that corner, right? Where you could see that different inlet bottom. And a lot of people were like, oh, that's got to be a Charger. That's got to be a Charger, right? It's not. It's a CUDA. Now they're not bringing Plymouth back. Well, they could change. That could change. Maybe they could bring it back. But I'm just saying, when they were building that car, that project CUDA, it doesn't matter. Tough Guy says CUDA isn't a Dodge. Neither is a Hornet. A Hornet was an AMC, but they have a Dodge Hornet now. If you don't think they won't bring a CUDA back as a Dodge, really don't. You're not getting it. It can happen. I mean, the Aspen also wasn't an SUV. I mean, they do whatever they want with these nameplates. And one for sure that, yes, see, look, there's Butter the Insider. Let me pin Butter's, because Butter was on top of this before I was ever talking about Dodge stuff or using any of my my background to get into getting this kind of information. He was way ahead of this. He was also the guy that a year and a half ago that you guys all roasted, talking about you know, the dual overhead cam V8. You know, you guys were like, oh, that's not a real thing. That's never going to happen. Butter was right. Again. So he's been on this for a long time. He deserves a lot more credit than he gets. He just has to deal with a lot of other stuff that's going on in his personal life right now with his family and stuff. But definitely go subscribe to Butter's channel and go run the numbers up on these videos, because he needs that right now. Facts. Let's see. Oh, okay, I see you, Brian. Appreciate you coming through. Waiting on the 7.2. Damn. You know, that's the other thing. I've had people say, Hellcat in production car, new luxury Ram truck years before they came out. No, you were right. 100%. Big facts. Big facts. Butter was right about all that stuff. You know, oh, that was the other thing. Oh, they're never going to put the Hellcat in a production car. What do you think the Demon 170 is? Any more information on the Charger V8s? I can tell you this. They're still testing both versions of that vehicle. I think the 5.7 liter is the one that ends up winning there, because it's the one that can get out the fastest. Now, could they drop a Hellcat in it? They already have to move some of the accessories on the front of the engine around to make that thing fit properly in the Charger, but they are testing that in Mexico, and it sounds amazing. Like, oh my God. Now, granted, they don't have the same emissions or other crap down there, so we'll see. I just want to ask, how do you feel about Elon Musk joining Doge as a competitor in the auto industry? Here's the thing. I'm perfectly, and this is where you're going to be like, TK, you don't have any ethics. Okay. I don't care if Elon Musk has a competing company. I hope he kills EVs at all companies except his. Want to know why? I hate that crap. And here's the thing. And I know people are going to be like, oh, you just hate EVs. I don't. I have a BMW i4. I obviously don't hate EVs. Okay. Elon is going to cut money. He's not the one that's going to tell auto manufacturers not to make electric vehicles. It's just when they stop getting money to make them, do you think Ford and Stellantis and GM are going to keep making EVs? When, I'll give you an example, Ford is losing like 30-something grand per vehicle when they manufacture this EV crap. They're losing their ass on these cars. Stellantis, he said, a crate engine that could go in a car depending on who's in office later. Yep. Stellantis, reportedly, looking at the numbers, if the EV tax credit is gone, and it will be losing $60,000 per Scat Pack EV manufactured. Where are they making money on that car? They're making money on that car from government subsidies. And if they're not getting the government money, that's a wrap. That's a wrap. Ron, yeah, you can do a lot of stuff. You know what I think they end up doing if they do drop the 5.7 and they bring that, you know, the testing is in Mexico and they bring that out, say, their fourth quarter of 2025 in the Charger. They're going to turbo it. It doesn't, I mean, they can, the 5.7 can hold boost. I don't know if a lot of you guys know that you can literally take the Hellcat blower off of a 6.2 and bolt it on a 5.7. I've seen it happen multiple times. But I think they'll probably turbo it. They're probably going to twin turbo that thing to make a bunch of power and make the Charger ridiculous. I just can't wait for the Tim Kuniskis presentation. Ah, at the said they have an ICE engine for the Wagoneer. It's called the inline six Hurricane right now. Yeah, they look. Reason why all of the EVs have been suspended. Now, look. I already know the guys that are up in Canada have already been. We're still making a couple of EV chargers because they're filling existing orders or allocations that they promised to dealers. But they're not going to keep manufacturing EVs at a loss. Anybody who runs a business and is building vehicles at a loss, they're not doing that. They're not doing that. My hope is a Hemi now that Tim is back. You can book that. Right now, I can tell you, you can book that there will be a Hemi. Do you think Ford would drop the Mach E Mustang? Yes. I mean, well, here's the thing. Again, guys, this all comes down to money. Like, I'm a business owner. I'm a defense contractor, right? If it's costing me money, I'll give you an example. If it's costing me money to dispose of ordnance for the government, one of my contracts. So if I'm disposing of old rockets and bombs or whatever, and it costs me money to do it, do you think I'm going to continue to do that job? Hell no. I'm not doing that. I'm not. Why am I going to pay money to work? That makes no sense. And yeah, well, I don't think the Mach-E will continue. I honestly don't think you're going to see a Ford Lightning much longer. Again, it all comes down to what the government's going to do, and I think it's going to happen. I think they're going to. I think with all of that cut, all those cut of the subsidies, the grants, the loans, the tax credits. You're going to see companies go, screw that. We're going to go back to making stuff that we can make money on. And that's internal combustion engine cars. Now, I'm not going to say there is one electric product that we're going to see from Stellantis that's probably going to sell well. It's going to be the Ram Charger. And that's literally because it is electric. So you'll have those people that can meet that need, but it's also going to have that 3.6 liter Pentastar in the front, which runs as a generator to charge that truck. I mean, having an EV truck that can go 750 miles, a Ford Mustang, yeah, I don't see that happening. Unfortunately, I mean, horsepower wars are coming back. I can tell you that for sure. There will be horsepower wars, and Stellantis. Wow, I just got pixelated. And Stellantis will do that. They 100% will do that. I got to drive the new Wagoneer S. I mean, look, for somebody that's never driven an EV, I can tell you right now, you could get into a BMW i3 from like 2016 and get on the throttle at the light, and it's a cheap throwaway car from BMW. You could do that, and you're instantly going to be like, this is awesome. You know what I'm saying? You're going to be like, oh my God, this is awesome, because you have that instant torque. Yeah, I see that the stream is getting pixelated. Sorry about that, guys. It'll clear up here in a second, I'm sure. Let me see something here real quick. Boop. Oh, that worked. All right, are we back? Is it back? All right, look at that. Instantly better. I had to switch from one network. I had to switch from one network to another to get better signal. You just switch from one network to another. I hear there's a new Dodge Camaro in the works. Damn, Brian. Like Tim, you're back. Yes. Is Pontiac happening? I can't say. I mean, that's what the rumors are. The rumors are that but Pontiac could be making a return. I've had a lot of people asking me about what let me just be very clear because I have to be careful what I say because I do have an NDA in place. I did have to sign an NDA to make that trip to Detroit to sit down with these people. And I will say this. I'm going to ask Dodge if I can have a Daytona to drive. I think you should, Butter. I think you should do that. I think it would be great for the brand because you could be on. You're going to give an honest review. I had to be very careful about what I'm saying on that, but I will say this: I did sign an NDA. There is an American brand that is going to come back, and it's going to shock a lot of people. That's what I can say. That's what I can say. Now, I am going back to Detroit at the end of January to have another conversation with these people. And I'm not the only one. There's other content creators that were invited because when I went there, I was very surprised to see some of the people that were there. Someone said SRT Cuda. Another prime example is, Elkin's been flying all around the world trying to get stuff situated with Maserati in Italy and resolving the issues with the Italian government, which they did. Talking about moving the 2500 and 3500 here to the United States. And what was the other thing that he did? I digress. See, I do so much better when I have notes in front of me. We're over here just trying to answer questions and spitballing. Someone said, I need that Firebird. I need that Firebird bad. Yeah, you never know, man. You never know. Oh, the SRT. So I talked about this, a month ago? Month and a half ago? That SRT, that they were going to bring back an SRT division, but it wasn't going to be like the SRT that we all knew, right? This SRT division is primarily made up of Brazilian engineers. Not to say that's a bad thing. I mean, look, a lot of people will get on to other countries. They'll get on to other countries and say like, oh, they make crap products or they suck. I don't know if most of you guys remember this, but Pontiac for a long time there was basically Australian. It was Holden. It was the Australians that put together a badass muscle car, like the original, the GTO that came out in the early 2000s, the G8, the Chevy Caprice police car that's ridiculous now. So I'm not going to immediately crap on the Brazilians if they are the SRT division, because I have faith that with Tim Kuniskis back in the fold, right, that he can make the appropriate decisions that they'll make good products, right? The same thing with Ralph Giles still being in the fold. I hear Trans Am may be coming back off the design. Trans Am Depot. All I know is that the company that was building the Trans Am no longer has the license for that. That's the only thing I can tell you about that. I'm glad Elkin has accepted Mopar Jesus Lord and Savior. Damn! Oh! I hope Ford brings back the Thunderbird or Taurus. Now, I did hear that. We reported that, a month and a half ago? That the Thunderbird would be coming back. But the CEO of Ford said he's done making cookie cutter crap cars. He wants to make iconic vehicles. I think we're going to have a golden age of muscle car design, power, vehicles. It's going to be ridiculous. I think the horsepower wars that we had from like 2015 to 2002 are small to what's about to happen now. Shout out to the homie Meat Puppet for being a member over here for 40 months. He's one of the OGs here on the channel. Shout out to all y'all for hitting the thumbs up button. I appreciate it. I see we just crossed over 100 on that thumbs up button. That lets the hitting the thumbs up button is like kicking Carlos Tavares in the balls, right? So when you hit the thumbs up button, it's like a virtual kick to talk to Carlos Tavares right in his nutsack. I love it. It's one of my favorite things to see. Damn. Oh my God. Ah, I literally said that and the thumbs up just went, ooh. He said, what balls? Iron Monkey, you are correct. He said, what balls? Why would GM bring back Pontiac if they kill Camaro? I don't know. I mean, I'll put it like this. GM does not have a Chevrolet to run in NASCAR. This is the easiest way I can say this without getting in trouble. Go look at NASCAR. If you know anybody that's on NASCAR teams, ask some pointed questions about what they're going to run in 2026. And you're going to find out that it's not a Chevy. So, but GM will be there. Carlos can kiss my Mopar 11. Wait. Can kiss my Mopar 1140 plus Euro buying ass. I had to put the ass on the back of that for you. I agree. I cannot get used to the reverse printing on these videos. Well, that's what happens, unfortunately, when you're using I'm shooting with this 8K. I'm shooting this 8K video, and unfortunately, yes, it's reverse printed because the camera is mirrored. Unfortunately, that's what happened when you shoot at a super high resolution. Sorry. I miss my 88 Firebird. Me too. I would like 85 Firebird. I mean, you guys have seen my Knight Rider build. I've posted it a few times. Love that car. It's dope. I hope the cars are more anti-theft. That is one of the things that Tim Kuniskis will have to address. Even if they bring back these horsepower monsters coming in 2025 and 2026, they're going to have to make these cars more secure. And that's getting off of a lot of the Fiat software. And that's what a lot of these vehicles ran. You know, a lot of that stuff came from Maserati. And that's why they were so easily stolen. But it'll be interesting to see what happens. How do I feel about hybrid V8s? I don't care about hybrids. Hybrids are awesome. Andrew says Fiat shit. I agree. I don't have a problem with a hybrid V8. I really don't. Hybrid V8s are fine. If they want to make hybrid muscle cars, nobody's ever going to have that car in hybrid mode. I can tell you that right now. Everybody's going to keep that sucker in sport mode. Battery will probably never be used. Just extra weight. They'll probably cut it out. Who knows? I don't have a problem with hybrids. I've made it very clear. I mean, I've owned Priuses. I got the BMW i4, but then I have monstrosities like my STS Cadillac, which makes like 780 horsepower and gets 8 miles to the gallon. So I don't really care. Viper. Now, here's the one interesting thing. I think if they did make Giles CEO at Stellantis, you know, the Viper was kind of like his pet thing. I think we could see another Viper. Everybody wants them to make a mass-produced Viper like a C8. I think if they end up making a Viper again, it's more like a Ford GT, right? Where it's very limited production, which I know everybody's going to hate because it's going to be expensive and it's going to be old rich guys that are buying the car and nobody has an option to get it. They could make a lesser model Viper and sell it to the masses. I just don't think they'll do it. What's up, Mexican Spec? I see you in the building. You don't buy those for MPGs. It's more like miles per gallon. Exactly. Well, I'll give you a prime example. You guys saw my homeboy in here. My bro Dizzle in Motion is in here in the chat. And we just took him to Houston for the first time. And while he's in Houston, you know, we went by the shop, pulled out the Demon 170, pulled out the King Daytona, the Black Ghost, and he got to drive that King Daytona Hellcat. And just to see his face driving that car, if you haven't seen Dizzle in Motion's vlog, I would recommend you go check out his video. He was instantly like, Dodge is a crap company. These cars are stupid. It's for ignorant people, blah, blah, blah. He drove that Hellcat and was like, I want one of these. Anybody that, even the biggest eco-friendly haters, I would put them behind the wheel of the Green Monster if they could drive a manual. And they would instantly be like, damn, I need to buy one of these. This is awesome. And it's no different for the Hellcats. You know, you drive one of these Hellcats and that's it. Has his balls come back to size yet? Oh, Gary, I forgot that comment. Yeah. He literally was driving the Charger King Daytona and was like, I can feel my balls getting bigger. Yeah, it was ridiculous. How is it going to rain the dealer's markup? So I did do a video on this. Elkin did propose to the board to come up with a mechanism to punish dealers that are doing markups. We just did a video on this dealer in California. Shout out to my dude, OC Motivator, that was trying to add a $10,000 markup to the Charger Daytona Scat Pack Stage 2 electric car in California. It's in a build process. They don't even have the car yet, but they were advertising it with a $10,000 markup. And needless to say, we did the videos, and then I get reached out by one of my executive sources, and they said, hey, because you know that they do watch my videos. They do watch Butter the Insider's videos, because Butter has a much better relationship with the actual executives than I do. I talk about stuff that they don't want me to talk about. Butter is he's like the ambassador. He's more of a politician. He's able to like be nice and talk to people. I don't give a shit. As I kick the crap out of the camera. I don't give a shit, personally. But talking about the stuff that's going to come, I'm looking forward to everything that we'll get back. And it's so amazing how much things change in a month. That's it. In a month. Single or dual turbo 5.7 Hemi. No idea. Butter will probably get that information before me because he's better friends with like engineers and stuff. I deal strictly with the people that make the decisions that are pushing the company in whatever direction they're going to go into. So, yes, A26 SRT said the legend is back. He said, what info? I just got back. They're talking about like engine stuff, Butter. Like different types of engines and specs and things of that nature. And I told these guys that you're more friendly with the engineers than I am. Usually if I get something that's bad from engineering, it's because it's so bad that the executives know about it and then they tell. 750 horsepower Hurricane coming. Damn. You saw that, right? Let me just pin that. Damn, Butter. Damn. Mopar Performance Greatness, MPG. Yeah. Well, guys, we're just crossing an hour. If you guys have any other questions, I will try to address them for you. 750 horsepower Vacuum cleaner. Yo. If you have any other questions, I'll try to address them for you. How is this good news if Tim is not going to run Dodge in their muscle car division? So I talked about this at the beginning of the video. Tim becoming the CEO, of Ram is a positive thing. Like I said, it's a temporary thing. I think what ends up happening here is Stellantis will end up splitting Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram off as its own company, which Stellantis owns, right? They're not selling it. They're just splitting it off so that they don't have to deal with the EU emissions stuff. If the ACEA is able to lobby Germany and some of these other EU countries to roll back these emissions to like 2050 or 2060 or whatever, right? Push it way back. Then Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram doesn't split off from Stellantis, and we see Tim take a different role. But I think the overall goal here is Tim Kuniskis will end up being the CEO of Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram. And you'll see probably Antonio Filosa, however the hell you say his last name, will end up being the CEO of Stellantis. That's what we talked about at the beginning of the video, of the live stream today. I see that happening. So put a Hellcat in a neon. Put a Hellcat in a neon. Bring back a design V8. So that's the thing. With the emission stuff going out the window, and one of the things of Doge talking about completely eliminating, you could literally see the EPA disappear. Here's the other reason why I can tell you that the EPA is going to, if it doesn't disappear, they're going to cut like 90% of the EPA away. Gone. And I can tell you that because every single one of those EPA agents is trying to laterally transfer right now. They're trying to go to the IRS. They're trying to get a job at, they're going anywhere. They'll go to ATF. They're trying to go anywhere they can go because they know their jobs are gone. Once the EPA is out of here, 90% gone, 100%. I hope they cut the whole agency personally. But if they're gone, next is NHTSA. Now, I know you're going to say there's no way they'll get rid of NHTSA. No, they're not going to get rid of NHTSA, but they will cut a massive percent of the agents, of the people that work at NHTSA. Frank, shout out to Frank. If you like fitness shit, go follow Frank's channel. Let me pin him up here. He got a dope ass fitness channel. Go follow Frank. I'm a fat ass. Don't follow me for fitness. Go follow Frank. But is it realistic to get back the TRX? Let me see the back for 2026. I think the TRX or a Hellcat option of the Ram is coming back well before 2026. I think that's why Tim jumped in there first. Because remember, he wasn't always the CEO of Dodge. He was over there first. Any news on the midsize Ram pickup? I can tell you this: with Tim Kuniskis in charge of Ram, that midsize Dakota that they were thinking about building on the platform of the Hornet, that's dead. Butter said 40K Charger Daytona rear-wheel drive. That's true. I've been hearing about the cheap food stamp edition Charger for a while now. They're talking about making a cheap, 40K isn't cheap, by the way, but considering current pricing. Any news on the 2025 Cummins? I said Cummins. Sorry, Cummins. You'd have to hit Butter to Insider up on that. He's more into engines and stuff. He gets that information from the engineers and stuff before I do. But yeah, Frank, hopefully that addresses your question. I do think they get it back in 2025. I think we see a Hellcat option or a twin turbo V8 option or something huge. They're getting rid of that RHO crap. I can tell you that now. Yeah, hey Butter. Now that your dear friend is back working at Stellantis, you should reach out. In other news, I was going to do a video about it. I literally got a cease and desist. I got a cease and desist when I published a video about the Kuniskis phone call 2 days ago. I got a cease and desist in my email, basically saying, stop if you don't stop publishing or talking about inside information in the company that I could face a lawsuit. And I was like, it's not my fault that your ship has 1,000 holes in it. Going to ask around and see about getting the Daytona too. Yeah, you should. I mean, look, Butter, let's be real, right? If they really remember, this was what, a month and a half ago? Somebody from Stellantis reached out and said they wanted to send me the regular RT. They wanted to send me the Charger RT, the electric car, to do an honest review because I was a hater. And I was like, cool, send it. I'll do it. But never, they were like, yeah, we're going to send it. Never heard anything back. So you look, if they send it to me and the car's crap, I'm going to destroy it. I'm going to put it on the lift. I'm going to look at all the weak points on that car. They don't want me to review that car. I can tell you that now. Because I'm going to put it on. I'm literally going to get a Plaid. I'm going to take it out here to Nellis Air Force Base. I'm going to put both of them in the hobby shop, put them up on the lift, and we're going to compare. We'll just compare the cars. And that will be the end of that. They don't want that. I can tell you that now. Bring Dodge back to NASCAR. I don't know if that's going to happen. Baby steps. Yeah, well, here's the thing. A lot of the Chargers that are being shipped right now are the ones that have gone to dealers now have turned into bricks. They're dead. I've already reported on this. They're dead. That's why they're not shipping them now. Ones that were already in built status at dealers have gone back. No, it's not about Brian. It's not about battery mount points. It's more on like how the electrical motors are insulated, how thick is the material covering the battery, like just basic stuff. So, yeah, I guarantee Soul Seeker, that's why they didn't send me mine. I can tell you that. I mean, they've only had a couple of media people drive these cars right now. And they definitely don't want somebody that I'm hating. They don't want me driving it for sure. But yeah, nope. I'm excited about the move today. I'm excited that Tim Kuniskis is back. We told you guys this a couple days ago. There is some more. I got some more stuff. What is it? Mexican Spec says, TK, do you think they had the V8 in the works even before Trump took over? They've had this dual overhead cam V8 for a while. I mean, Butter the Insider reported on this like a year and a half ago. So I know they've had that in the works, but they never stopped making V8s. They have Hellcat motors for days. They're still manufacturing them for crate engines. They still have the 5.7 Hemi, so it's not like they stopped making them. They just said they weren't going to sell them anymore and basically got everybody to jump on this last call bullshit. And now they're going to go back to making awesome cars again, and trucks. I'm excited for. How does it fit in the new car? I know that, how do you explain? I know that the 5.7 Hemi does bolt in to the new Dodge Charger EV. You have to move some of the accessories around on the front of the engine to make it fit perfectly. So I think they probably could fit the Hellcat engine in there. They're going to have to do something with the hood because the supercharger definitely would be up a little high in that engine compartment. because the 5.7 Hemi is literally like there's almost no room between the hood and that. So I think, but hey, there's no reason that they can't, you know, put that bump over the hood. Saltillo. Oh, Saltillo. I knew the double L was there, so I was like, is it a Y? Hood scoop? Yeah. Shaker hood, maybe, but they, I mean, you have the supercharger sticking out. I don't think they want that. Who knows? Maybe they have the supercharger sticking out of the hood. Bring back the 6.1 Hemi. Yeah. All right, guys. Well, we've been on here for well over an hour. I wanted to talk a little bit about the news, some of the stuff that's going on. I got a couple of phone calls I got to do with some more of my sources here at 5 o'clock my time, Pacific time today, on some more news. So you probably see some more videos dropping tomorrow. I don't think I'll drop them today, but there'll be some news dropping tomorrow on some of the stuff that's coming. So I want to thank you guys very much for coming through. Shout out to everybody that hit that thumbs up button. Everybody that, just in case you didn't know, when you do hit the thumbs up button, it's like kicking Carlos Tavares in the balls. I love it. It's my favorite thing to do, is to just, you know, press that button where you kick them straight in the nuts. Oh, you saw the Green Monster today? I see you, Evan. You saw a version of the Green Monster today? Yeah. I'm excited, man. I'm waiting. I can't wait to buy my next Mopar product with a big V8 in it. I'm excited. I can't wait to do it. But anyways, guys, thank you guys very much for watching today's live stream. Thank you guys for coming in. I'll try to do these more often. I'm going to try to do something with Dizzle in Motion here in the future. Maybe we'll do like a weekly podcast. I also said we were going to do that with Butter the Insider and OC Motivator. We're going to try to get that going. Beyond the Lens Productions, salute. I see you. But I want to thank all you guys that are in here, all my Mopar people, all my friends and family, the guys that also report on this stuff. Appreciate you guys coming through. I saw Car Questions answered in here. Shout out to him. But yeah, thank you guys very much for coming in. I truly appreciate it. Stay tuned. I know as Butter gets through some of the stuff he has to get through, we will try to get that podcast up, because I think that will do really well. With me, him, and OC Motivator doing a podcast every week. And me and my homeboy Dizzle will probably end up doing like a not safe for work podcast. Maybe on TK's Garage too, over on the second channel. So I am going to get back to posting. He said, waiting on. I'm ready to go, Butter. I'm ready to go anytime, man. You know I'm ready to get that podcast going anytime. Just let me know. But I am going to start dropping some more videos. I've been lacking over there on TK's Garage too. So some of the more crazy stuff that could get me sued, I guess, like internal documents and things of that nature, I'm going to start dropping on TK's Garage too. So if you haven't subscribed over there, go check it out. But anyways, till next time. Thank you guys very much for watching. I truly appreciate y'all coming in on a live stream. Thanks to everybody that hit the thumbs up. Appreciate all you guys that dropped the membership notes and super chats. I appreciate everybody that came in, and I will see you guys very soon. We got more videos dropping later this evening. We got some more news dropping this evening, so stay tuned for that. And we'll get another live stream coming up this week. So till next time, you already know what it is. Stay petty, my friends.